except for all my clothes in the closet. Actually, those are Mom's clothes. Oh well.
Okay, back to the point.
I'm Dave. This is Benjamin.
Kellett, my dad, and I would be his son, Benjamin Kellett.
Not that he would be, he is. You are my son. That's
I know.
A fact.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, we just done a lot of these videos. I just figured people who actually watch these videos would know that we're father and son.
Hopefully. And what did you want to talk about today?
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really know what to talk about. I just really wanted to do one of these videos. We haven't really done it for
We
a
haven't
while.
done one in a while, so that's all right.
But I have a question for you. Which one of these do you think is a better weapon? The long two-handed sword or a spear?
It depends on what you're doing. Because if you
horseback combat.
Horseback, either a spear or a bow and arrow, but a sword can also be just as deadly, like the Civil War swords that they used. They didn't even have to have an edge.
Which Civil War?
The American Civil War.
Okay, just a second. There are a lot of Civil Wars.
Yeah, there's some going on right now.
It's like, why do we fight wars at this point?
Mainly it's due to people's greed or desire for power. And
Dad, let's not get too off topic, please.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying it's because there are people out there that desire global domination.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
They're called old Nazis. And people...
Well, there's Nazis, there's communists,
to
there's socialists that all want to control the world. You have China and Russia. You have Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't want to control the world, but they are a Nazi regime.
Why are we helping them?
I have no idea. I think it's the worst decision we've ever made. We should not be helping a Nazi regime. It is horrific. The Chinese are definitely communists, and so are the Russians.
I think the Chinese fall into more of a socialist category.
No, they do fall into that, but their form of socialism is based off of a national idealistic and not off of a global idealism. You see, the other socialism that you're finding in Europe and many other countries is
so basically what's always
globalism.
So basically what they've been doing for years.
Yeah, it's the same crap they've been doing for years. It's the same stuff that's been done since the beginning.
It's kind of like what that made up history stuff. They stated that stuff like two businessmen who want to settle a dispute, grab some fighter guys, and have them fight each other. Other winner of either guy's side, that guy basically gets the power. And the fighter, he gets a bunch of cash.
Oh, that'd be
other
nice.
Stuff he wants.
See, that's not happening to the soldiers currently fighting in those wars.
That's basically what King Ashura was about.
Yeah, but in the current global climate, the current global warfare, especially between Russia and Ukraine, those soldiers are being forced to fight. A lot of them. They're not fighting because they want to be there. They're fighting because they have to be there.
Like a lot of things. Kind of what the White Death knew about the Russian soldiers and the war he fought in.
Okay. And the White Death is one of your characters.
No, White Death was a real soldier. Remember him?
No.
He was one of the world's greatest snipers, remember? He shot...
Was he the guy that was in Iraq?
Okay, northwest of Russia. Wait, no. Left. Oh, yeah, northwest of Russia. So that country, remember it?
There's no country northwest of Russia.
Well, that specific spot there. That was where the White Death is from.
Are you talking like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia?
Okay, I've lost myself too.
Okay.
Oh, long story short, the guy ultimately ends up spending the rest of his life as a dog breeder, which is actually a very interesting thing. for a basic war hero.
Well, it doesn't matter if you're a war hero or not.
Also, you're thinking of the White Devil.
No, I'm not. Oh, your character, the
Yeah.
White Devil.
My
Okay.
character, the White Devil.
But soldiers don't get paid a lot anymore. See, it used to be you'd go out, you'd rape, pillage, and plunder, and you'd get a share in all of the gold and stuff that you brought in.
That actually would make sense since you did do a lot of that stuff.
And in most militaries, it's not that way anymore.
Are you kidding me?
No. Most militaries, you get paid a monthly salary.
That's basically employees.
Yes.
These
Yes.
are normal companies.
Well, except you're a federal asset. When you, like, if you join the
I feel
American...
if I am fighting for my life, I deserve a share of whatever I bring in.
It doesn't happen anymore. Because we're not trying
that
to be
is
mercenary...
bold.
Well,
Oh,
mercenary armies were bad. Because mercenary armies, you got glory and money based on how many people they thought you killed. So you'd have a bunch of people that would kill some of their own guys because if they killed them and just brought a head in, they get paid. So you have
That doesn't
that
sound too
going on
different.
inside of your military.
Different from what the Mongols would probably do.
It was what a lot of people did. They had to have some way
Which
of finding
honestly,
many
how the
people they
Mongols got past the Great Wall Channel makes perfect sense when you think about
killed.
it.
They went around it.
Yeah, they didn't even, the Chinese didn't even make it longer and make it big enough for the Mongols.
It was never going to be a problem or a threat. That Great Wall was different sizes also. As you go along it, it's different sizes. Some of them smaller than
It does have
the
a go on
others.
like a mountain range.
It doesn't matter. It's still just different sizes and different structures. If Genghis Khan had wanted to, he could have used catapults against it.
Did they have catapults?
Yeah, the Mongols made catapults.
I think it was
Everybody
easier.
made catapults.
I think it was easier for them to just go around the thing than just risk the catapult stuff.
That's what Genghis Khan thought. Go
Yeah.
around it. Don't risk losing your men on these walls. And it was kind of a ridiculous thing because the Great Wall of China showed an empire that was in decline, but wanting to preserve itself from the outside world. But
But
they
they didn't
were
block themselves from on that side where the Mongols were.
right, but they'd been lifted up in their pride and in their debauchery and everything else, and in their not caring about the civil
It's kinda
war
like a
around
lot.
them.
Other countries back in Asia.
It's like a lot of the elites today who think they're smarter than everyone else and they should be able to tell everybody else what to do and how to live.
It's kind of what gets them fired a lot.
Well, it gets them to where people fight back against it because most of the common people know they're smart enough to handle their own lives. Most common people know that they know how to live their life the way they want to live it, and they'll do it that way.
Yeah.
They don't want the governments or the government or governments telling them what they can do or how they can live. When most people have a pretty good, simple life as it is.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to live off grid, they should be able to live off grid. Nobody should be complaining about
That's kind
that.
of what the people in the White Dragon, in the Wind Dragon people can stuff are fighting. And, they're basically the people Wind Dragon are fighting with want Republican stuff. They want a specific set of rules that got actual legit crimes out of the picture, sure, but also a good amount of freedom. Like you can live off the grid if you want
Right.
to, which Wind Dragon in many ways
Well,
does live off the grid.
If you look at our
It
Constitution,
doesn't really use
it-
things like
right. But
like most TVs and
if
such.
you look at our Constitution, it's made to preserve your individual
Yeah.
rights.
If you're curious what kind of house phone he had, it's like a rotary phone.
Yeah.
Just spin it. He doesn't really use things beyond radios and such.
Right. But the thing that I'm just talking about is the fact that each of us has God-given rights that cannot
Yeah.
be taken away. And our
And even if
Constitution
you're
is
a
made to preserve
descendant of God,
those.
does not automatically mean you have divine right and such.
Right. And the
you mean like
people-
just because you're a descendant from Jesus, that does not automatically mean you can be king.
No, it does not, absolutely does not mean that you're going to be king or ruler over everybody or everything.
Yeah. That means you're a
Because,
descendant from someone important.
right, but it doesn't give you the right to rule over something.
Kind of like what a lot of
And it's also like in the
royals
Book
are
of Mormon.
these
The
days. They're
Book
kind
of
of just
Mormon,
really wealthy people
right.
who have minor access to government and
But
such.
the Book of Mormon does state that if you had a righteous king, somebody who believed in your individual rights and
Like
freedoms,
Nebuchadnezzar.
and well, actually, kind of like an Elon Musk guy, who says you can have free speech here on his platform, and you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not threatening to kill somebody or threatening some kind of
Which is
specific
kind of
harm,
got Mendo kicked out of student body, everything.
yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's just
Mendo's
means,
a character from Ursa Yatsura.
well, it just means
It
that you
speaks
have the right
basically,
to do those
He harm
things.
every guy and leave the girls alone.
But
You can see why the guys didn't really like him in the first place.
right, but the point is, if you had a righteous king like that, that's the kind of king you want. That's the kind of ruler you want, and it'd be great if you could have that.
Meanwhile,
kind
for
of
the guys
person
here
all
at
the
Yatsura,
time.
they had a Taro. Who's basically like Mendo, but nicer and less.
Well, even
That's
the
annoying.
founding fathers thought that having George Washington as their king would have been great.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to have a king anymore because,
We are tired of kings.
well, it's because we believe in our own individual responsibility. We have a responsibility
Yeah.
to
and
society.
Washington knew that too.
Right, but we have a responsibility to society to act appropriately.
Yeah.
To be kind to other people.
Yeah.
To learn about our God, love our God, and follow his rules.
Yeah, like this. Yes. Just because you think mole people exist doesn't mean everyone else has to think mole people exist.
What?
It's
Mole
time for
people?
Giant
That's
Test.
just weird.
As Giant Test thought these underground bandits were like mole people. Weird part is he was right. About the mole people thing, but that does not mean everyone else wants to believe
You
in
don't
mole
need to
people.
Yell, Mama's sleeping
Sorry.
there. But
So
what
you
I'm
paint the
trying
place
to
that light bulb.
what I'm
Oh,
trying to
eventually,
say
I have to replace it.
is we have our own our individual rights come with responsibilities.
Yeah, this is also kind of what the Demi Angel thing.
So we don't have the
And
right,
they basically believe in every good moral.
right, but we don't have the right to force our beliefs or our will on other people.
Yeah.
See, where you have the globalist elites who think that they have somehow they have some right because they're so smart to tell the rest of us what to do. That
And
is
just because you
incorrect.
think you're an elite does not mean you're an elite.
Right. Well,
Sometimes you're just a guy
it
who's been
doesn't
educated in a
matter.
good school.
They're pushing toward a globalist or communist style of government.
It's kind of a lot.
And what
Lot of
these
people
globalist
who are going
elites don't realize, or they're not getting yet, and they won't get until they're used up, like under Nazi Germany, when Hitler rose to power, all the people that put him into power, he killed them all.
Yeah.
After he got power, because he didn't want to compete against them and he didn't want to share power. While they were discussing.
It's kind of something John Wick points out.
Yeah, but it's the same
One
thing with the global
person-
elites. They don't realize that the governments that they're trying
the
to make
Marquis
deals with.
didn't realize.
Right.
Lies. He's replaceable.
Yeah.
Well, just because he thinks he can magically make John Wick killed and become more powerful than everyone, that doesn't mean he's going to succeed.
No.
He's just going to get more people wrapped into a giant mess that's going to get them all killed.
That's a possibility.
By the time he made his plan, if that duel thing wasn't brought up, John Wick would have cut down more than half of the high tables everyone.
Yeah. But we're not talking about that so much as we're talking about
It kind of does,
individuals.
I was pointing out,
Well,
Yeah,
it
the
has
leadership
similarities. And the similarities are true everywhere you go. And with our current elites, they are trying to make us act like a collective, like what's good for everyone.
That's
And
kind of what the high table does
what's
too.
actually good for everyone,
Ooh.
if you look at it, is each one pursue their own individual course in life, how
Yeah.
they want to. But not
Have you
only
notice the elder guy that kind of acts like the chairman of the group? You know that?
Yeah.
And the high table.
well,
Which
no,
shows kind of like some
he wasn't.
governments meant to use.
He wasn't that. The older guy wasn't acting like that. He was acting as a judge, like a counselor,
Ow.
and making sure that the high table's rules were enforced the way the
And-
high table wanted them enforced.
And in a way, he does kind of outrank them. That was stated in a lot of stuff that he is the most that the one labeled elder is the most powerful. It's weird how they're all how the two we saw were mainly just Muslim guys.
They had the appearance of being Muslim. They just dressed like sheiks. That didn't mean they were.
What's a sheik?
A sheik is a Middle Eastern type ruler.
Oh.
That would dress like that and live kind
Because
of
that
like
explains
that.
the kind of look like Jafar from
A
Aladdin.
little bit.
And then you remember him, right?
Yes.
From the movies.
A little bit.
Arguably, Jafar's genie form was actually pretty cool.
Who?
Jafar, remember? The genie form?
Oh, yeah.
And like The Return of Jafar. Which actually was a pretty good movie. I can see why people didn't like it
I
because
couldn't take
the
it.
original voices weren't there.
Yeah,
I just like the songs.
that's fine.
And I do like him what Iago, was that his name?
Iago? The
Yeah,
parrot?
the parrot.
Iago.
Yeah, I do like that he risked his life to save everyone from Jafar by destroying the lamp and throwing it into lava. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was nice.
And it is really impressive that they pointed out that Jafar, or like he wished, was a more powerful genie than the genie himself.
Yeah, but the thing is, how much power is that? The genie was all powerful.
In a sense.
So Jafar, how are you going to be more all powerful than someone who's already all powerful? It makes no sense. You can make the wish, you can kind of make the thing like it, but in the end, it
It's
becomes
weird.
a battle of wills.
And weird sense is Jafar somehow won on
Uh-huh.
that extra scuffle.
Stop.
Sorry. Wait, Jafar did kind of win when him and Genie fought each other. And he literally mocked the Genie throughout the whole fight. In the song, "You're second rate." That's basically Jafar saying, and being basically right. I'm the more powerful one. We both are powerful, but I'm more all powerful than you.
But the genie had friends.
That's what a beat Jafar.
Yeah.
He had
Which-
at his ego and his sister.
These collectivists don't realize they're actually in the minority, and the
Yeah.
majority
There are a lot more
doesn't
genies
like
too.
them.
Yeah, there are a lot more genies too.
Yeah.
I can assure you. You're shown throughout Aladdin and such. There are even beings who can kill genies.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If you're going for the mythical stuff, you're right.
there's always something that can kill the other.
Okay. Are we good for today?
I also would like to talk more
About what?
about wind drinking a bit. Like this.
Could you lower your
Sorry.
voice?
Sorry.
Don't have to yell.
I'm sorry. You okay, Mom?
You caused somebody to call.
I don't know.
Go ahead for a little bit more because
Yeah, I
I've
figured
got
we could talk about
to get back to some.
how his way of living. And he lives in this place on the border
Of what?
of where your South China would end.
In the ocean?
Now, on the other border where there's more land.
On the eastern border? Or the western border? Because the eastern border is all with water.
Well, western border, I'm going to go with that.
Somewhere between India and China?
You know why?
No.
Because he's tired of everything. Because in many ways, he's tired of all the
Is he
people.
living up in the mountains? The Himalayas?
We'll work on that. I may just imagine this kind of deserty place.
Oh, the Gobi.
Anyway,
But why would you want to live in a desert? Okay,
It's
we live in
isolated.
a desert, so
It's an isolated place he lives. He has helped train himself in both body and spirituality.
yeah,
He
but
wants
that's
an actual
not.
protection, Dad.
Yeah, but that's not how someone is supposed to live. Because we are supposed to help our fellow.
The guy
man.
was betrayed by a lot of his friends and such.
Doesn't matter.
And his mother would obviously want him to isolate himself. Make himself more dangerous.
That doesn't make you more dangerous.
And he does have companions he lives with.
It makes you more out of
Light
touch.
Tiger, and Shaman.
And it still makes you more out of touch.
Yeah. And quite frankly, we Light Tiger and Winddrain would ask what Shaman's real name is, but they, quite frankly, they don't want to know enough about him.
There was a Marvel character called Shaman.
Back to the point, Shaman's basically like my Rafiki character. Big stick, skinny guy.
Okay.
I has a habit of whacking people with a stick. And also similar to Cherry from Urusei Yatsura. He's kind of the misguided monk. Who's kind of there when you don't need him. I don't get what kind of Buddhism he thinks he is. That's basically what Cherry
He
is.
could be a Zen Buddhist if he wants to be.
Yatsura.
There's multiple different kinds of Buddhists.
Either way, a Cherry in many ways is shown to not be helpful. Kind of like his niece Sakura,
Okay.
who might help in some ways, but is just as unhelpful as her.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to end now. Okay.
I'm not sure why they don't expand on Ree's sister. Maybe she's helpful.